AcesInterviews. Conversations to empower. Introducing Fliss Goldsmith.
I welcome to AcesInterviews Conversations to Empower. I'm Leo Gurgen speaker, and today I'm joined by Fliss Goldsmith, an emotional well-being and empowerment coach, disabled by chronic illness and a trauma survivor. She is passionate about ensuring that everyone has access to creating and living their optimal life, whatever that looks like for them. Felicity, also a passionate diversity, equality, inclusion, and belonging consultant for over a decade, committed to making the future better, safer, kinder, and more emotionally connected. Thanks for joining me today. I know that we both coach around empowerment. When it comes to inner power, what do you think is the most important thing for us all to realize?
Well, firstly, it's a huge blessing to be here today, Leo. So thank you for asking me. That's a really great question, actually. And it got me thinking that inner power really is something that we all have innately, but I think that's a really difficult thing for people to realize and connect to, because in the way we live our modern lives, we've become very disconnected from our inner power. So we feel quite disenfranchised with the idea that we have it within us. So that's the first thing that really I want people to know, that even if you don't feel it right now, you all have an inner power. It's just about pulling back the layers to find it. And for me, for myself, I think there's two things that really connect me to my inner power. And the first one is curiosity. Because I think curiosity is an amazing thing. If we can remain curious about ourselves, about each other, about the world, then we're constantly learning, and when we're learning, we're growing. And sometimes you find out the most amazing things, and sometimes you find out some difficult things, but you're always learning. And through that curiosity and that growth, I also think there's a really important role to be said for appreciation. And this, I sort of realized this because I found it really hard to get on board with the sort of attitude of gratitude, because it just didn't land with me. I am grateful for so many things in my life, but I just couldn't be grateful for some things. And then I found that whatever I was doing, even in the hardest times of my life, there has been something I can appreciate. So I like to say that I'm not great at the attitude of gratitude, but I am pretty skilled at the art of appreciation. So, for example, this morning, getting absolutely soaked to the skin on the morning school run, I was not grateful for. But I did appreciate the little pitter-patter of the rain on my umbrella. So, yeah, appreciation and curiosity are what I think everybody's inner power needs to get it sparked up and thriving.
Yeah, I think appreciation is kind of more accessible and more kind of realistic in a way than this greatness. I agree. I think many of us find it kind of unnatural to try and be grateful for every single thing, because some things, are currently crap. How can you be grateful for something that is crap? But appreciation is kind of like more, I think I'm more kind of, it made me think about kind of acknowledging what happened and seeing it for it's also kind of appreciating what happens in our life. But it's not necessarily injecting it with this kind of false positivity.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely more accessible. And curiosity, I was thinking, I guess that what do you think it goes hand in hand with open-mindedness?
Yeah, I do. I think it gives you that sense of exploration, if you like, because again, I don't really like the idea that our lives are a journey because it kind of feels a little bit like one directional, that we're just going straight ahead, what to die at the end. It's a little bit morbid. So I kind of see life as a bit of an adventure, and curiosity gives me that sense of adventure and exploration. Like when you're a child and everything's pretty magical, you can be given a box of bricks and it's sort of exciting because you're looking under them and around them and imagining what they could be. And I think we lose that little sense of excitement, wonderment, curiosity, because life happens, and that's totally understandable. Hard things happen, as you said, and trying to maintain this toxic positivity is really, really unhelpful. But if you can have an open mind and remain curious and just notice things for what they are, as you said, then actually it is more realistic, it is more honest and integral. And I think that's why, for me, it's really helped to connect me to that sense of inner power.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. And, I feel like it's a next question, kind of what we've already covered, but maybe we can talk. I can ask it directly at you rather than the larger question was a kind of a wider question. What do you yourself find empowering?
Well, that's really interesting because, as I've said, curiosity and appreciation, but I think that they are more the energy that drives that. But the actual things that create that within me, there's two things that stand out above all else. The first is nature, being outdoors. And I have chronic illness and disability, as you know. So for a long time, I felt that the great outdoors was a bit inaccessible to me, because I had this feeling that if you weren't hiking 10 miles a day, what was the point in being out there? Yeah, and again, I think social media plays into that quite a lot. So I sort of kept myself indoors quite a lot, and I soon realized that that was really detrimental to my mental and emotional well-being. I was feeling really flat, really uninspired. I didn't have any creativity, and I'm a very creative person. And then I just started to do little walks, round the block or down to the school rather than, going in the car. And actually, I found that made all the difference to my day, even if it was 10 minutes, if it was 5 minutes. And on the really, really tough days, I would sit in the garden if it was nice enough, or I would just sit by the windows and open them up and look at the trees and the leaves and listen to the rain. And I think nature is massively empowering because it teaches us that no matter how tiny or enormous something is, it's absolutely essential to the whole sort of biodiversity of life. And the other thing, far and away, is human connection. Again, when I went through a very difficult spell with my own mental health, I think it drives you to disconnect from people, to isolate. I don't want to talk to that person because I feel anxious, or I don't want to be the person who brings the mood down. So you end up removing that connection. And then again, I realized that that was something that was actually causing more harm than good. It wasn't protecting me in any way, it was actually damaging me. So I find human connection is important for emotional and mental well-being. But it's also amazing because if you have an idea or a thought, what good is that in a vacuum, in an echo chamber? We need human connection. We need to bounce ideas off each other. We need to be able to go, hey, Leo, I think this, what do you think? And to be comfortable that that person might not go every time, yeah, that's amazing, Fliss. They might say, well, yeah, but what have you thought about this? And that again, it kind of connects me back to what I was saying about nature, that we need that diversity, those different voices, those different lived experiences and thoughts to bring together in that human connection to really empower us to do better. When we know better, we do better, and we can't do that on our own. So, yeah, nature and human connection are the most empowering things for me, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, like the nature and that human connection, like you said at the end, it's both about being part of something bigger, isn't it? I mean, like you said, when we're out in nature or even looking out the window at nature, we learn that every little bit is significant. And I think that's a very important lesson for us with our inner work and our inner exploration. Because when we look at the world and look at how things out there grow and uh, how they interact with each other, something that seems insignificant in nature will actually have its part to play, however little small.
Yeah.
And that like all of us and how we interact and what we had to bring to the world. I think like you were saying about social media and about the idea of what being outside is. And
Mm.
I think also social media has this idea of like what we have to bring to the world need to be quite big and kind of significant when actually every little thing that we each do or we each can contribute makes all the difference to the wider collective.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and yeah, I was just thinking again about what you said about, when we see on social media about being outside, it's all very action packed. It does seem like that, like hiking or, doing some extreme sport. And I think that can be quite detrimental because it can make people think, well, I can't access that wonderful landscape somewhere up in the Alps, or I go and, climb that rock. Therefore, I can't be part of nature. But
Yeah.
in actual fact, it's all around us, even if we live, in a big built up town or city, just getting out into the air and taking, like you said, that 10-minute walk or if you use a wheelchair or mobility aid, getting out of the house, so really positively affect our mental health.
Absolutely. It's an enormous benefit to everybody just to be out in it.
Yeah, definitely. So my last question is, what difference would you like to see or make in the world?
Wow. That's such an enormous question. I've thought about it a lot actually, over the years, and it's always come back to this mantra that I created for myself years ago. And I can't even tell you that I had this epiphany moment where I woke in the middle of the night to a crowd of angels or anything. So it's a bit boring, but that'd be nice, wouldn't it? I've always said to myself, whatever the question, let love guide your answer. And I would really like that to be something that everybody could have at their heart, because for me, it means that whatever happens, whatever scenario or decision we are faced with, if we come at it from a place of love and compassion, then we are halfway to changing the world for the better. And it doesn't mean we'll always get it right, because you can come from a place of love and get it wrong. And that's where accountability comes in and compassion for our mistakes. But I would love that to be something that everybody could get on board with. And I would love for everybody to live their optimal life. And I say that because, again, living your best life is very, very commercial to me. It's very, very false and prescribed, and I don't like it really. But I think you can live your optimal life, whatever that looks like, because it is different for everybody. My optimal life will be different to yours, which will be different to the person we meet next time we're in the shop, because we all have our own circumstances, our own challenges, our own innate gifts and strengths. But we can all live an optimal life and find the best life for us. And that's why the coaching that I do is designed the way it is, so that it can be that individual support mechanism for people to do that. So, yeah, I guess that's the difference I'd like to see and make in the world.
I really like the word optimal. Because I think in the industry of coaching that we're both in, I think that it's described as set design for success, and kind of for me, I go on about this a lot, and people probably getting dead sick of me going on about it. But I do think some coaching can be ableist, and I think it's all kind of, we can make a change there and kind of get away from this kind of idea that life had to be one way, and we had to have a successful business, and we had to be, about something about financial income. A lot of coaching. I know a lot of people find it very helpful, but coaching can be very financially based, and about your career, and about, climbing up the ladder. And for some people, that can be a turn off, and it can be very ableist. What do you think about that?
I would absolutely agree with you. I think coaching is an amazing modality in the wellness space, and I think it's incredibly important that people understand it is so much more than, accessing something that's, like you say, going to push you up the ladder or be very career focused. Coaching needs to change, and I think, the coaching that you're doing, that I'm doing, and that people that I know are doing is making that difference. But it can be very ableist, even when, you look at the spaces in which coaching is held. There's a lot of physical challenges and barriers that come with that. And I think the language can be very, very ableist as well, and the expectations. And I feel like what's going to happen is that suddenly there'll be this trend of, oh, we need to, make it accessible for the disabled people. And it's like, no, 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 no. What you're doing, it's not really me that's the issue. It's the fact that it should be made accessible in an all-round capacity, whether we're talking about, gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity, mental health needs, physical health needs, all of these different things. The accessibility needs to be there. Coaching needs to meet the person where they are now in an accessible nature, judgment free. And at the moment, I don't think that is the commonplace way of coaching. I think we're a long way from that, but we can make that difference. And I think it's people like you and I that have the lived experience that probably are the ones that are going to be ending up doing the work.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And I think what you said about, we're at a time where suddenly there's this influx of, oh, we must make it accessible. Whereas, like you said, it's not about kind of, oh, we need to, step out of our way to make it accessible for this group of people, and then this group, and then this group. No, that's not the point. The point is to make it open for everyone. And I think, like you said, that's about language. It's about the practicality of spaces, workshop, seminar. I take primary accessible, even online ones are not actually active. But also, I guess we can't forget the financial implication of coaching, which in certain circles seem to go up and up and up and up. And it's like, well, great, but the average person, whoever they may be, whatever their diversity, intersectionality, is probably not going to be able to access it.
Yeah, I think financial barrier is a huge one. I mean, I offer 2 spaces each month on a pay what you can basis, because I think that, the people that probably would benefit the most from an emotional and well-being kind of coaching, which is what I offer, they're often the ones that are barriered financially. So, we've got to make a change there, because otherwise we are missing the cohort of people that could benefit the most from what we do.
Absolutely, I totally agree. So, the roundup that you said a bit about your practice there, how can people connect with you and find out more about what you do?
Oh, I would love that. So I'm on Instagram and it's at Co-Design with Fliss, and it's the same on Facebook at Co-Design with Fliss. And my website is codesignwithfliss.com. My email's on there and everything else. So pop on there, send me a message, connect on social media. Like I said, I love social and human connection. So come and say hi. Come and say hi.
Great. And when this interview goes out, I will share your website and all your social media link with it.
That would be
So,
lovely. Thank you.
so thank you very much to my guest, Fliss Goldsmith, and thank you everyone for watching. Find out more about live speaking and coaching, and see all the other interviews at leoaces.co.uk, and Aces Interview will be back soon with another powerful conversation. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching Aces Interviews. Find out more about Fliss Goldsmith in the show notes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.